Welcome to Green Room Technologies Leadership Series, Part 1. What is leadership anyway? Take a second and see if you can define leadership without describing it. So far, I haven't seen it done. It is a complex set of human behaviors that we can describe and that we know when we see it, but it's difficult to define. There is no physical clue or personality style that defines who is a leader. It could be anybody. Additionally, leadership is contextual. People who are not known to be leaders sometimes rise to the occasion when required by circumstances, but may not do so again. Or alternatively, great leaders may never be great again after their moment of leadership accomplishment. Leadership and titles of authority are definitely not the same thing, nor is management. In this session, we will explore what some of the common features of leadership are and how you get to be a leader. Put humans of any number in a group and they will spontaneously organize roles and tasks and choose a leader or acquiesce to a leader. Humans are a self-organizing, hierarchical social species, whether we like it or not. So let's talk about those who are recognized to be leaders. How do you get to be a leader? There are three elements that determine all human outcomes: circumstance, choice, and cosmic flow. For example, we are born to a circumstance that we have no control over. Our genes, our family, our culture, our geography, our socioeconomic status, and so forth. Much of the starting point in our lives stays with us in the form of our beliefs, biases, and behaviors. At some point, as we are growing up, we start making choices for ourselves. Our choices often change our life condition or create a new circumstance, which in turn presents us with new choices, and so it goes. Cosmic flow is the juxtaposition in time and space of people and events unknowable to us in advance. It goes by many names like chance or happenstance or luck or many others. Stuff happens all around us all the time that we never even imagine or understand why. The choices we make about new circumstances or opportunities greatly impacts the outcomes of our lives. Almost everyone who becomes a leader has a story of happenstance or of a mentor or a friend or a family member or network of acquaintances who singled them out for leadership. These other people saw something in you they felt could be useful to them, let's be honest, or useful to the greater good. These opportunities are generally open-ended, or at least with work can become that. My story was simple. I was a second-year pulmonary fellow doing my research year. The chief of internal medicine at the Houston VA hospital had become a mentor of mine, as he and I had worked on some complex organizational development activities to improve patient flow on the VA wards when I was in residency training. He called me one day out of the blue and asked if I wanted to be chief of pulmonary at the VA. I was reluctant as I was still in my training years and this was a really big job, but he assured me all would be okay. And like that, I was chief of the second largest clinical operation in an 1,100 bed hospital while still a fellow at Baylor College of Medicine. As it turned out, he needed something no one else with more experience would agree to do: rebuild the pulmonary section and give it credibility with the accrediting agencies. Over the next 2 years, we did that. I learned that my chief had seen in me something I didn't know was there: leadership, interest, and aptitude with a smidge of organizational skills. The result was I was given a leadership role early in my professional career and at a level that most people would aspire as the pinnacle of their career, not something that happens at the start. If you are a leader of an organization of any size and you are looking for individuals who you may tap to fill a leadership role, as my mentor did with me, what do you look for? What sort of aptitudes and skills, even if they are undeveloped, are on your list? Here are some ideas. Is this person results-oriented? Do they know how to get stuff done? Are they goal-directed? Getting results is the chief attribute of a leader. It is how anyone gets recognized to take a leadership role. Failure to get results generally leads to the opposite. Does this person not only understand but actively support the mission, vision, and common purpose of your organization? How do you know? Not by what they say, but by what they do and how they act. Don't ask them, observe them. Since humans spontaneously form hierarchical social structures, is this person someone who is always helping their group succeed, helping to solve problems, leading their group to get results? this someone who connects with others? It's generally emotional connection. Someone with good self-awareness. Is this a person who is able to clearly and effectively communicate? Is this a go-to person? A person who has the trust and respect of others because they show respect and trust reciprocally? Is this person willing to step up and learn new skills and take on new tasks? This is a person earlier in their career. Where are their knowledge and experience gaps? Are they willing to learn new domains of information and acquire new skills? Can they learn through new assignments? When the going gets tough, when there is conflict and disagreement, does this person put the good of the many in front of the good of the one when that is the correct thing to do? I've had the opportunity in my career to sit with many groups of leaders to discuss the nature of leadership. Since it is so hard to define and we tend to lapse in descriptive terms, that's what we would do. Pass out the old Post-it notes, have them write a single descriptive word about leadership and post it on the wall. Then we would organize the described features into themes or groups of traits or responsibilities. Trying to come up with a simple definition that is stripped down of all the descriptors was no easy task, but we came up with this definition. A leader is someone who convinces a group of people to do something they may or may not want to do. Of course, this is simple and incomplete. It doesn't differentiate between persuasion, influence, and positive motivation versus manipulation, force, or coercion. It doesn't differentiate between evil dictatorships and participative life-affirming experiences. With a little more work, we eventually described 3 traits of leadership and 4 areas where a leader is responsible for the outcome. The traits of leaders are results, connection, and character. Getting results is fundamental to all leadership positions. If it's not obvious to others that you are someone who consistently gets results, you likely won't get asked to lead. Similarly, leadership changes occur when results do not happen. Supportive are traits like evidence of competence and the ability to solve problems and to collaborate with others. Connection means an ability to connect emotionally to individuals of the group. It's sometimes confused with charisma. It's different. This is an ability to motivate action or inspire results by means other than force or coercion or superficial likability. This is where meaning is imparted. Connection is foundational to good communication and in staying in touch with people's needs and concerns, which in turn creates alignment to purpose. Character determines whether we think the results are a good thing or not, and whether we find the person trustworthy, moral, ethical, honest, or reliable. Good character with an ability to connect with others leads to trust. Doing what you say is one way to put it. Values and dedication to the group goals that are obvious by action are the basic outcome. Responsibilities of leaders are to the people, to the mission, vision, communication, and execution. And for the people, we define 2 dimensions. A leader has central focus on the well-being of the people, being led individually and collectively, and an ability and desire to surround themselves with competence that leads to achieving results for the common good. Bottom line, a leader is responsible for the achievement and well-being of the people they lead. Mission and vision means setting common goals and strategies and defining common purpose. Leaders must manage uncertainty. Strategic perspective and planning have more to do with priorities and gaining support than something mystical. After all, strategy is simply a plan to reach a goal. Communication is a key feature to getting things done and is effective, consistent, transparent, and provides confidence, usually based on evidence about the plan to reach common goals. The people being led would like powerful communication from the leader. Best case is inspirational, though inspiration generally derives from what a leader does more than what they say. Powerful may mean more like well-timed and meaningful and confident. A few well-chosen words are always better than BS and spin. In the end, the most powerful communication skills of a leader are listening and asking the right questions. While leaders don't need to know how to do everything, they are accountable to assure results and to know enough about how things work, to know when help is needed and to provide the help and resources. Helping to solve problems, removing barriers, assembling and training human talent and resources, and generally promoting the environment for success are key features. By now, you know the most foundational aspect of leadership is getting results. No results equal no leader. What are organizational aspects that are most correlated with successful execution of strategy? A strategy is a plan to achieve a goal or a mission. Based on information derived from the study of multiple firms, these 4 areas form the cornerstones of effective team execution and thus the cornerstones for getting results. The 4 are decision rights, information flow, structure, and aligning motivators. The leader is accountable for creating the environment for success. These 4 areas are critical success factors. These 4 will weave in and out of the remainder of the series on leadership. The 4 elements are clearly interrelated. We will start with decision rights as it is the most important. If an organization doesn't have a clear idea of who is in charge and held accountable for making decisions related to strategy, execution, or people, then little cohesion or forward momentum happens. Decision-making becomes ad hoc based on multiple opinions, and alignment to goals and purposes lacking, putting results in jeopardy. In the course of setting decision rights within an organization, any leader has a responsibility for these areas. They are often the point of final approval or the source of delegation. This slide enumerates some of the elements of organizational decision-making that constitute decision rights and accountabilities. Often a leader will determine these different operational definitions with their own team, and sometimes including downstream teams, especially if specific technical expertise is required. Number 1, vision and purpose. This is a primary leadership responsibility. Saying what the vision of the organization is, generally defined as what it will become in a future state, and why that is important, or a statement of purpose, belongs to the leader and the leadership team. Enlisting input from others in the organization is often relevant and useful, but in the end, it is up to the leaders to verbalize it and to live it. Mission is a primary leadership responsibility. A mission can either be organizational in nature or a specific, more limited goal. Your mission is what you do, your stated goals and milestones. Roles and responsibilities. Getting this one right, and individuals respecting how this works, goes a long way toward assuring that decision rights result in forward momentum without endless discussions or waiting for someone to do something. Setting priorities and goals. This activity happens up and down the organization constantly. Having a conflict resolution style and methodology can help avoid stalls when there is conflict over priorities. In technology firms, technical and product input is nearly always needed. Resource allocation is clearly another area where there is internal competition. This can be healthy or not. One way to set priorities and allocate resources is to do a top-down request, a bottom-up assessment and recommendation from the working teams in the context of the organization's mission and goals, and then a leadership decision on trade-offs, milestones, and definitions of collective success. Accountability for commitments and results is everybody's job up and down the organization. The leadership must set the example by holding themselves accountable in front of the firm. We must demonstrate the behavior we want to see from the teams. Transparency promotes a culture of information and agenda transparency that lubricates decision-making when decision rights are broadly understood. Communication cadence is a leadership prerogative that sets the tone for standard forms of communication and reporting. On the one hand, it does no one any good to have too much reporting. On the other hand, stasis happens with insufficient communication, especially if it is ambiguous or causes confusion, and especially if it was related to goal definitions and success factors. In part 2 of the leadership series, we will discuss in more detail information flow and leadership communication. I hope you will join us in that session. Thank you for joining us in the Green Room. I'm Dr. Bob Teague, Chief Medical Officer for Green Room Technologies. Reach out to me via email at bob@greenroomtx.com or join Green Room for more exploration of leadership on www.greenroomtx.com. Navigate to the content page and to the market content room. Click the sign up button. See you next time.